Hi, you guys. It's Miss Costanzo, and it is April 21st. It's kind of the beginning of week 4, and I wanted to make you guys a video to go over some of the content for this week. I apologize if this gets shaky. I'm taking it on my phone, and I'm holding it, so just bear with me. But week 4 deals with making inferencing. Making inferences. And making an inference is something we do all the time without even thinking about it. It's almost like a first impression when you meet somebody. You make an inference about that person just upon what you see and what you are observing about someone. So when you make an inference, you take what you know, okay? And what you know can be something that you learned before, that you've experienced before. So it's just something that you know, okay? And you also take what you are observing, or in our case, what you're reading, right? Because we're taking it from text. And you put it together and you make almost like an educated guess about a situation or a subject, okay? So for example, if I was to walk into Target and I'm observing, there's a big sign at the back of the store and it says school supplies, and there's an arrow pointing down to the section of the store. And I walk over there and I see, books and markers and highlighters and pencils. That's what I'm seeing, what I'm observing in the store, okay? I know that school starts in August and it is July, let's just pretend. Okay, so I know that school's starting soon. I can infer that we have these school supplies out because school is getting ready to start up and parents need to go buy school supplies, okay? So I'm making an educated guess as to why there are school supplies out in Target. Another example could be, so I lived in Virginia for many, many, many years, and the leaves change, right? I know that come late September, October, the leaves are changing colors, okay? So I know that because I've seen it for my whole life. But I also know that when it gets colder, that's when leaves start to die and change colors, okay? So if I'm outside and I notice that the leaves are beginning to change, I can make an inference that, number one, it's getting colder, and number two, the season of fall is starting, okay? So it's really like making an educated guess, okay? It's not hard to do, but it's awkward to think about and to process to have that thought process of making an inference when we do it naturally, okay? So if you're looking at the stories for the week, the first one, or one of them is about Bess visiting her grandmother, okay? Well, if you look at that first question where it's asking you what can you infer about Bess, you really should be able to use the process of elimination to help you on that one, even if you're confused. But let me kind of walk you through it, and I'm pulling it up right now, so bear with me. Okay, so we just read the story about Bess, and from reading, we learn that Bess visits her grandma every day. She loves to go into the attic and explore. I'm reading her and her grandmother communicate often. Her grandmother's very nice to her. She gives her a button. So I'm reading a lot of positive things, right? I'm not reading anything negative in terms of her and her grandmother's relationship. And it seems like they're really close, okay? So if you look at what can the reader infer about Bess, okay? A, Bess wants to write a report about buttons. Well, yes, we read that she looks in an encyclopedia and she's really studying about these buttons. She's asking her grandmother questions. Okay, that's what we are reading. But I know from my experiences, I love to read about all different sorts of things. Does that mean that I am going to be doing a report on something? No. Okay, there's nothing else in this story that would give us a clue that she's writing a report. And really, just because you're interested in something does not mean that you have to write a report about it. Okay, you can be interested in many things, all right? So that one doesn't really make sense. I would put an X by it. B, Bess isn't really interested in having a button collection. Well, that one should be a gimme X eliminating answer because every single thing in the story is pointing out to the fact that she would love to have a button collection, right? She's paragraph 4, Bess wanted to learn more. She looked in an encyclopedia. Bess looked at her grandmother's jar. There's so many colorful buttons. She's so interested. She is the opposite of disinterested. She loves it. So I would say get rid of that one. All right, C. Bess's grandmother will give Bess her button collection. Well, we read in the story that Bess's grandmother gives her one button. But she says this will help you get started with your own collection. So based on what I've read, I can't make that inference that the grandmother is going to be giving her the whole button collection, okay? I know that in the past I've been given a few things. Does that mean I'm going to get all of it? No, okay? D, Bess enjoys spending time with her grandmother. That one we can definitely infer. Number 1, she visits her every day. Number 2, her grandmother gives her a button, so they have a good relationship. She seems to enjoy exploring and spending time with her grandmother and at her grandmother's house. There's nothing in this story that would tell us otherwise or give us a clue as to otherwise. So it's almost like we're reading between the lines a little bit. We're making that educated guess that, yeah, of course she loves spending time with her grandmother, or else she wouldn't be enjoying it this much. She wouldn't be finding things she loves at her grandmother's house. This story would go a lot differently if she didn't like spending time with her grandmother, okay? Let's see. But you guys, don't forget that important skill of the process of elimination, okay? I know it seems silly that I keep reminding you of that, but a lot of the times, even if you don't know something, you can eliminate answers that you know are completely wrong, okay? Just give yourself a little bit of extra help. If you can eliminate 2 answers, you have a 50% chance of getting that question correct, okay? So help yourself out and see if you can eliminate answers. So that's inferencing. I hope this helped a little bit. If it didn't, just send me a message and I'd be happy to talk with you more. Let's talk about grammar, okay? Because I think that grammar might be a little bit more challenging for some of you. And it is a little different this week. My biggest advice, you guys, use that chart that they give you on the practice page. There's a lot of really great information, okay? So we're just gonna kind of start with the big ones that I think might be the most challenging. All right. When something is a possessive noun, that means that it has ownership, okay? So if I'm talking about my classroom, right? It's mine. I have possession of it. It's my classroom. It's nobody else's. It's just Miss Costanzo's classroom, okay? So if somebody's talking about me and they're talking about my classroom, okay? And they want to show that it's my classroom, they're going to say, oh, have you seen Miss Costanzo's classroom? Okay, so as you can hear, there's an S at the end of Miss Costanzo. So Miss Costanzo's classroom. So the tricky part is, where do I put that apostrophe? Okay, do I put the apostrophe before the S or after the S? Okay. So here's a general rule. Your apostrophe comes before the S when you're just talking about one person's item that they own, okay? So if I'm talking about, let's see, Bob, okay? We have a friend named Bob, and we're talking about Bob's car, okay? He owns the car. It's his car, okay? Bob is one person. So if I'm saying Bob's car is a beautiful, new, shiny car, okay? We would say Bob apostrophe S, okay? Because he is just one person. If you're talking about many people, okay, and many people own something. So if let's use you guys as an example. If I'm talking about all of my students' desks, okay, maybe it was a really bad day, and for some reason every single person's desk in the classroom was just a mess. And I was telling Mr. Cubble and, saying how awful they were and dirty. If I'm saying my students' desks, okay? So the students, yes, I know you don't own the desks technically, but they belong to you during the school year. It's your desk, okay? So again, I'm talking about many things. It's plural, students, okay? It's already a plural noun. I'm not just talking about one student. I'm talking about 21 students in my class. If I said, my students' desks are so messy, Mr. Cubble, it would be students with an S at the end and then your apostrophe, okay? Because I'm talking about more than one person owning something, okay? Which is basically what that possessive noun chart is explaining to you. So if you look at the example, the chicken's eggs were taken by the farmer. So if you have chickens, you don't just ever have one chicken, you have many chickens. So it's already a plural noun. So you just put that apostrophe on at the end, okay? Prefixes and suffixes, I am not worried about those. You guys know them, okay? A prefix goes at the beginning of the word. A suffix goes at the end of the word, okay? So for example, the practice, useful, okay? F-U-L is the suffix and it means full of. So if something's useful, it is full of use, okay? You guys know those. I'm not worried about them. Order of adjectives. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. You use this strategy all the time without even knowing it, okay? Order of adjectives is something we naturally do when we're describing something. So with these, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to read the sentence and input each of those answer choices and see if you can hear it, okay? Because a lot of the times, if those adjectives sound weird, they sound awkward, it's probably not the correct order, okay? For example, if we're looking at number 3 on the practice, the museum has metal, beautiful blue vases on display. It's weird for me to even read it because it's kind of an awkward flow of the sentence, okay? If you're looking at, let's just pick choice D, okay? The museum has blue, beautiful metal vases on display. Again, it sounds awkward, okay? But luckily for you, you have this handy dandy order list that we have given you. Excuse me. So the first thing you should look for, okay, if there is an opinion given, that's going to go first. Well, ding, 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 I see the word beautiful. Okay, beautiful is an opinion, right? Not everybody has the same opinion of what's beautiful. Okay, what somebody thinks is beautiful, somebody else might think is horrible or ugly. All right, that's just how it works. So right off the bat, you can eliminate 2 answer choices because beautiful should come first. Okay, so the museum has beautiful metal blue vases, or the museum has beautiful blue metal vases. Okay, it's going to be one of those 2. So let's see what should come second. Size. All right, blue and metal, those are not sizes. Okay, age, that's not an age. Shape, we don't have any shapes. Ooh, number 5 on the list is color. Blue is a color, so that should come second, right? Beautiful blue. And then do I see, let's see, 6 origin, no. 7 material, is metal a material? Yes, okay? So use that process. So if we're looking at the correct answer, it should be B, right? The museum has beautiful blue metal vases on display, all right? Last but not least, because I think, I guess I'll talk about sentence fragments. Prepositions. All right, prepositions are another kind of, it's not the easiest topic to explain, all right? But one thing that I can tell you is that a lot of the times, if you can answer the question where, and you can answer it appropriately, you're saying the preposition, okay? So a prepositional phrase has to begin with a preposition. I'm going to say that again. A prepositional phrase, so a group of words, has to begin with the preposition. So a lot of the times, a preposition is going to be examples of words, sorry you guys, would be like in, on, above, below, behind, under. So if your mom asks you, hey, where did you put the TV remote? And you say, Mom, I put the remote on the coffee table, okay? So where did you put it? I put it I put the remote on the coffee table, okay? So we're connecting remote, okay, that's the noun, to coffee table with the word on. So the preposition is on, and the prepositional phrase would be on the coffee table, okay? If I said, the orange juice is in the fridge, okay? In is our preposition. In the fridge would be the phrase because it has to start with the preposition in. So again, we're connecting orange juice to the word fridge, okay? We could almost draw an arrow. If you're looking at number 4 on the practice, okay? Lily showed Micah a book about tree houses, okay? Now, let's just say you are so confused you don't even remember what a preposition is. You can use, again, the process of elimination. So a prepositional phrase has to start with a preposition. So let's start with D. D says, showed Micah a book. Well, I know showed is a verb. A verb cannot be a preposition. They're two different things. I can get rid of that. Let's look at B. Lily showed Micah. Well, Lily is a noun. A noun cannot be a preposition. So again, I can get rid of that one. C, a book about. A is an article, just like the is an article, or an is an article. An article is not a preposition. What does it connect? What is the relationship? So it only leaves a, about, okay? So ask yourself, what does that word about connect, okay? Think a preposition is almost like a little link in a chain, and it connects the other two links. So about connects book to its subject, tree houses, okay? The book is about tree houses, all right? So it connects, it shows that relationship, all right? So hopefully that helped a little bit with prepositions. I'm not going to give you the answer for the second one because I want you guys to do that by yourself. All right, a sentence and versus a fragment. You guys, a sentence always has to have a subject, which is the who or the what is the sentence about. And it has to have a verb, okay? What is the subject doing, okay? So if you don't know, if you can't answer who is this about or what is this about, then you don't have a subject. If you cannot answer what is the subject doing, you don't have a verb, so it can't be a full, complete sentence. So if you look at number 5, which group of words is a complete sentence? Okay, A, jazz all over the world. So let me see, can I answer who or what is this sentence about? Well, it's about jazz, okay, so I know my subject. What is jazz doing? Is something happening with the jazz? It just says jazz all over the world. I don't hear a verb in there, okay, there's no action taking place. So that would not be a complete sentence. Let's look at B. In the early 1900s, jazz became popular. Okay, who is this sentence? Who or what is it about? Jazz. What happened to the jazz? What happened? What's occurring? It became popular. So I hear a verb, so I think that's a complete sentence, but I'm going to check C and D to make sure. C, was very different from other music at the time. Well, what was very different from other music at the time? It doesn't tell me. I don't know my subject. Not a complete sentence. D, dancing to swing. Ooh, sorry, my timer's going off. Dancing to swing. I hear an action. I hear dancing. But what is my subject? I don't know. What's dancing to swing? Are animals dancing to swing? Are people dancing? No clue. So it only leaves B is our answer. All right, you guys, I hope this helped. I know that this video was long, so good for you if you watched the whole thing. I know it's not the best quality. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so enjoy your week. Please let me know if you have any other questions about anything.